Hello, welcome. We'll get started in a minute. Just waiting for folks to gather. Oh, good. Now I know I'm truly live because I see my daughter Hannah making comments in the chat. Hi, Hannah. That's very comforting. So I'll get started now. Hello, I am Julie Raskin, Executive Director of CHI, and it's great to be with you tonight. 2020 has been such a tough year for many of us, and for so many reasons. So thank you for taking the time to be with us tonight and to support CHI. I hope everyone's all comfortable with your snacks and your drinks and ready for a wonderful evening. Every year we gather together for one night, a night to celebrate, a night to reflect on our work from the past year, and a night to push towards the future. Your help allows CHI to provide support to families around the world and impacts research for new treatments and to find a cure. Without you and your donations, we wouldn't be here tonight. Thank you to our generous sponsors for their continued amazing support. Platinum sponsor, Zealand Pharma, thank you so much. Gold sponsors, Crinetics Pharmaceuticals, Resolute, and the CHOP Department of Surgery. Silver sponsors, Hanmi Pharmaceuticals, the CHOP HI Center, and the Cook Children's HI Center. And bronze sponsors, Xeris, Twist Bioscience, and Malbrew Industries. And a very special thank you to our honorary Sugar Soirée chairman, Dr. Diva de Leon Crutchlow, Dr. Mike Crutchlow, Ricky Thornton, and Dr. Paul Thornton. And we'll be hearing from Dr. de Leon Crutchlow and Dr. Thornton a little later in the evening. But first, I sat down with CBS This Morning co-host Tony DeCopel to talk about what's new with CHI. Any second or any few seconds, you will see a white pop-up window that says, join next session or stay. We want you all to join to see the video. And each time you get that message to join throughout the evening, to join or stay, always click join. Thanks. And I'll be seeing you live again on the other end.
Julie, hello.
Hi, Tony. It's great to see you again.
It's good to see you as well. I believe the last time I saw you, last year in person, first time I met you, I also met Ben.
You sure did.
And he was very excited to hear that I work for CBS, or so it seemed. His eyes lit up, and then he asked a couple more questions, and I suddenly realized that he thinks I said CVS, the pharmacy.
Yeah, it was a beautiful moment. It really brings home for people who have hyperinsulinism or the effects of hyperinsulinism, the pharmacy is everything to them because the medicines they're on are life-saving. So for them, CVS truly is more important than CVS.
It was an important dose of perspective for this news anchor. So I appreciated getting it. And I hope he's doing well. I hope everybody in the community is doing well. And I think we can probably begin there. The pandemic looms large over the country, and I'm curious how it has affected members of CHI.
Yeah, so it's had a huge effect. For the organization, we were starting 2020 just gangbusters. 2019 had been an incredible year and had such big plans for 2020. And so when the pandemic hit, it was a huge blow. It was just such a blow to CHI, to the rare disease community, and all of those dreams, the gauzy future seemed like it was going up in smoke. But then we realized that we actually kind of had a leg up on the whole virtual thing because we've been working virtually for many years. We have a virtual patient community. We have volunteers all over the world. We work with drug companies all over the world. We work with clinicians and researchers all over the world. So it turned out not to be as difficult as we thought it would be. And what's so interesting about it is that people living with rare diseases, people who have congenital hyperinsulinism, are kind of primed to live in an emergency state. So the pandemic is kind of, in a certain way, sort of nothing new, but having to deal with a rare disease and then not being able to necessarily have that easy access to physicians, to hospitals, to medication. Everything is so much more complicated with the pandemic, getting access. That's truly, truly hard.
Are there any silver linings this year?
Yes. So first of all, we had this big, huge, incredible news that we were chosen to be one of the Rare as One network members. And this is a project of the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative to help rare disease organizations create collaborative research networks in order to prioritize research and bring all of the lead researchers and clinicians together to help the patients drive the future of research so that we could have a cure for hyperinsulinism.
You've been working in this community, organizing for, I think you just had your 20th year anniversary from the original Yahoo page. What did it feel like to get this grant and this recognition from Rare as One and from the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative?
It felt incredible. It felt like a dream. Over the course of the last 6 months, we've been working with our cohort, the other rare disease organizations, and all of the experts that Chan Zuckerberg has provided for us. And it's been like being in this incredible symposium for 6 months. And it's accelerated our learning and our knowledge so much.
Now, the Zuckerberg family is one of the richest on the planet. And to get a grant from them might give some people the impression that you are all set financially from now into infinity. Is that the case?
Right. Yeah, it's not the case. The funding is limited to 2 years. The word is out now because of the publicity that the grant has gotten. More people are contacting us. More people are seeking out services like the genetic testing that we offer together with our partners at the University of Exeter in the UK. Well, that costs money. When more people want the testing and we're paying for it, we have to come up with that difference. With this prioritization process, we are going to have to find a way to fund this research. So, in fact, the grant opens up all sorts of doors, but more than ever, we're counting on the community, the Congenital Hyperinsulinism International community that has supported us all these years to continue to support us. And we need to grow that community even more.
I have a feeling that that community will grow and they will continue to support you, because if they're tuning in now, if they've made it this far, clearly they can go a little bit further. Before we toss to the theme song for the 2020 Sugar Soirée, it is called the downs and ups of HI. And usually the phrase is the ups and downs. So why the downs and ups?
When a baby is born with this disease, they literally start out down. Their blood sugar is very, very low, critically low. And that is the main problem with this disease. And we need to lift them up and bring their blood sugar levels into a normal range. So we're literally going from down to up. But we've taken this metaphor and we're thinking about the whole person. And we want to bring them up to make sure that they have a wonderful, full life. Yeah.
Oh, that's lovely. That's a beautiful message. And a good note to end on. I hope you'll say hello to Ben for me.
Thanks so much, Tony.
Thank you.
If your sugar's low and your insulin's high and you don't know why, you might need HI. If your sugar's low and your insulin's high and you don't know why, you might need HI. Sugar goes down, 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 so you gotta bring it up, up, up. Sugar goes down, 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 so we gotta bring it right back up. Most of the time, sugar's fine, but sometimes it goes low. You could be running or playing or dancing around, or sometimes you just don't know. Sometimes it takes us by surprise, but we've got mommies and daddies by our side, holding on to us for this roller coaster ride. If your sugar's low and your insulin's high and you don't know why, you might
That was so much fun, and that song is always stuck in my head. I'm singing it all day long.
I know, me too. And Ty, everyone's heard you sing, but they don't all know you. So let me introduce you to the Sugar Soirée community. This is Ty Pasquini, our Research and Policy Director, and she came to us in February of this year. Welcome, Ty.
Thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure to be part of the community, especially on such a special night like tonight.
Yes, it really is. So Ty, do you want to tell folks a little bit about the bidding? I know it's begun for our auction, but maybe not everyone knows the mechanics.
Yeah, so I see a lot of you have already started bidding, so thank you so much. And many of you have figured this out, but there's two ways to bid. You can either bid through the website or you can bid through text. The number is 910-557-8322. Each item has a 3-letter code, and you just text that code, $, and then the amount you would like to bid, and it will go through the system, and you'll be able to keep apprised of what's going on with the bidding wars. And thank you so much for all of you who have done that so far. And you can also text to donate as well.
Great. And we have so many wonderful items on our auction. And we also have really important needs in the Fund a Need category for donations. Thank you all for being so incredibly generous. We're really, really, really so grateful. And now we have a treat for you. We are going to introduce you to Leo and Alana of The Amazing Race, which is on CBS right now.
Hi, I'm Alana.
And I'm Leo.
And we're joining you from Vermont. We hope you enjoy this foliage while we talk for a little bit.
I should mention that I was born with congenital hyperinsulinism, and Alana and I are in the middle of running The Amazing Race, which you can watch on TV.
On CBS.
So I've got Alana here who's going to interview me about my experience in particular running the race with congenital hyperinsulinism and kind of how we got here. And so what's your first question?
Well, I think first we should talk a little bit about what the consequences of you having chi. So what impact has that had on you in your 31 years of life?
Mm-hmm. So, well, so at the beginning, I had a similar experience to what I've heard from many other families, where I had really low blood sugars as an infant. I had 2 subtotal pancreatectomies. And then fast forward to when I was 19, I was diagnosed with diabetes. And so diabetes is really more how I've been impacted in my grown-up life. I have a Dexcom on right now, and I had it on throughout the race, and that was a big part of preparing. But I've always, I've had to think about my blood sugar, or when I was younger, I have scars from the surgery. I'm lucky to have not had too many physical consequences other than scars after the first couple of years of my life. Very lucky for that.
Can you tell us a little bit about how your journey with chi and diabetes helped you prepare for the race?
Well, once I learned that I had diabetes, and I think also as a little kid, knowing that I had this, unusual, crazy medical story, I just always had a sense that I had to make my body work with what it had, and so, I am always expecting to maybe have to do something differently because of diabetes, because of hyperinsulinism, and that's actually really good preparation for the race, because the race throws things at you just like this disease and life in general.
Amen to that. And then my last question for you is how chi sort of affected our race. Like what changed about you? Has anyone ever raced with diabetes and with chi before? Is there any history of this?
I don't think anyone's raced with hyperinsulinism. There was a past contestant who did very well and had type 1 diabetes, and we love watching her season. That's season 17 if you want to check it out. And so I'm excited to be doing this and joining, representing the diabetes community, hyperinsulinism community, and doing our best on the race. So thanks for joining us for this little segment, and enjoy the rest of the Sugar Soirée.
Thanks.
Wow, Leo and Alana, that's amazing. Thank you for sharing your amazing race stories with us. We are so excited to have you with us as celebrities tonight. Good evening, everyone else. I am Davelyn Hood. I am CHI's board president and the principal investigator of the HI Global Registry. As you've already heard tonight from Julie, despite the challenges we've all faced in 2020, CHI has continued to work diligently on the programs that we have to support our mission of improving the lives of those living with HI. The CHI staff and volunteers have made the necessary adjustments to not let the obstacles of the pandemic deter the momentum of our work that is made possible by generous donors like you and others around the world who join us in our tireless efforts to increase awareness of HI and end the needless consequences of brain damage and death due to hypoglycemia. Among those whose work has been instrumental in this drive include this year's Be My Sugar Awareness Award recipients, Dr. Tatiana Malinkovic and Dr. Rade Vukovic of the Department of Pediatrics of Endocrinology of the Mother and Child Healthcare Institute in Serbia. And this year's Be My Sugar Extraordinary Volunteer Award recipient, Dr. Sunny Chappell, the CEO and founder of Ann Arbor Pharmacometrics Group, or A2PG. In the fall of 2019, Drs. Malinkovic and Vukovic organized the first Balkan School of Clinical Pediatric Endocrinology in Serbia. They included the teaching of congenital hyperinsulinism as a major focus, and as a result, 27 young pediatric endocrinologists from 15 countries were intensively educated about hypoglycemia and HI. In the fall of 2019, Drs. Malinkovic and Vukovic organized the first Balkan School of Clinical Pediatric Endocrinology in Serbia. They included the teaching of congenital hyperinsulinism as a major focus, and as a result, 27 young pediatric endocrinologists from 15 countries were intensively educated about hypoglycemia and HI. The young physicians who attended the school took home a better understanding of recognizing, diagnosing, and managing HI with much greater competence. A significant number also developed interest in hyperinsulinism research as a result of Dr. Malinkovic and Dr. Vukovic's program. In the 11 months that have since passed, the important connections have been made between the students and the faculty of the school, leading to new research projects and more CHI partners helping patients in their countries access medication and treatment for HI. Please join me in thanking Dr. Malinkovic and Vukovic for their innovative approach to raising awareness and the level of physician understanding of HI. In the latter part of 2019, CHI was introduced to an amazing scientist, Dr. Sunny Chappell. There are people that you meet in life that you know in an instant are extraordinary, and Sunny is one of those individuals. Julie and I felt a quick connection to Sunny over the course of just a couple of months of business travels, after meeting meals, and much conversation about each other's work and vision for a better future for HI families. Earlier this year, Dr. Chappell graciously volunteered the data analytics services of her company to support our growing need to report on the information we have been gathering in the HI Global Registry. The staff of A2PG has already spent many volunteer hours this year assisting CHI with the behind-the-scenes work to pool and validate and analyze and report on the key findings of the registry that we published in the first HI Global Registry's annual report in June. We look forward to continued data analytics collaboration with the A2PG team to identify and present in a structured and scientific manner more of what patients have shared about their HI experience through the registry surveys. This work is vital to a better understanding of HI, improved outcomes for HI patients, deeper understanding of access issues to treatment, and can also be used to enhance clinical guidelines development and clinical trials of new therapies.
All of this is greatly enriched by the volunteer work of Dr. Sunny Chappell and her team. So thank you, Sunny, for your generous nature and the gifts of your team's talent and time. So earlier this week, we checked in with our award recipients, and here's what they have to say.
Dear Julie, all doctors, nurses, and parents who are taking care of children with congenital hyperinsulinism, thank you so much for Sugar Awareness Award. This is not a recognition only for my and Radi's work, but for the entire endocrine team from my hospital, because all of us have chosen congenital hyperinsulinism is a very important topic for Balkan School. I'm sure now that young doctors who attended school now recognize and treat children with hyperinsulinism much better. In this difficult and dark time for me, this award is much more than a award. It is a symbol of people fighting together for something really good. So, many thanks again. I'm really deeply touched. Take care of yourself, stay healthy, and I do believe that we will see and hug each other very soon.
Hi, I hope everyone is doing well. My name is Rade Vukovic and I work as a pediatric endocrinologist at the Mother and Child Healthcare Institute of Serbia in Belgrade. I'd like to express my deepest gratitude for receiving the Be My Sugar Awareness Award. It's such a huge honor. Also, I'd like to thank everyone who made the Balkan School possible, including teachers, students, CHI, pharmaceutical companies, and all the dear colleagues from the Serbian Pediatric Endo Society involved with the organization. The hypoglycemia in babies and children is a very important clinical problem requiring prompt diagnosis and treatment, which is why we wanted the school to have a major focus on hypoglycemia and congenital hyperinsulinism. We were very lucky to have amazing international experts sharing their knowledge on congenital hyperinsulinism to brilliant young pediatric endocrinologists, not only from Eastern Europe, but from 15 countries spanning 4 continents. I would like to thank Julie Raskin for being a very important part of the school and for making everyone feel like a part of the big CHI family. And I would also like to thank Congenital Hyperinsulinism International and everyone supporting the CHI for all the amazing work helping many families across the globe. Balkan School was a great example of successful international collaboration with lots of enthusiasm coming from both experts and students, medical and non-medical professions, which will definitely lead into better outcomes and better future for children and families with congenital hyperinsulinism.
This award is such an honor for me and our A2PG team, who gladly agreed to help out despite their busy schedules. When I met Julie and Devlin, I learned about the challenges that the CHI families face. As a fellow mother, I was able to relate the extra difficulties that the families need to go through. And it was impressive to feel and hear that Julie and Devlin raised their children beautifully and conquered the challenges, and they are such happy mothers. And they want to help other CHI families repeat their success. What a great cause. I wanted to help out as a fellow mother and as a scientist, and I am glad that our efforts were helpful, and we'll be happy to continue the support. Thank you again.
And now back to Tony, who's interviewing 2 hyperinsulinism rock star doctors and our honorary Sugar Soirée chairman, Dr. Diva De Leon and Dr. Paul Thornton.
And I'm back now with 2 of the leading lights of the HI world, specialist Dr. Diva De Leon Crutchlow, chief of the Division of Endocrinology and Diabetes and director of the Congenital Hyperinsulinism Center at Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, aka CHOP, familiar to many of you watching. And Paul Thornton, Dr. Paul Thornton is medical director of the Endocrine and Diabetes Program and director of the Congenital Hyperinsulinism Center at Cook Children's Medical Center in Fort Worth. So with those impressive titles out of the way, I want to go to you, Dr. DeLeon Crutchlow, first with a simple question, but also an important one. You could be doing a lot of different things in your career and partnering with a lot of different organizations, and yet you are partnered with CHI. What's in it for you?
Well, I think, I have to say my ultimate goal when I come to work every day is to make the life of children better, particularly the life of children with hyperinsulinism, who are the patients I care for here at CHOP.
Dr. Thornton, same question to you.
Well, the thing I love about working with CHI is the great work they do to support our families. We have a lot of children with hyperinsulinism, and we refer them back to CHI for really that sort of ongoing support of being a part of a community when you have a rare disease. And I think the second thing that I love about working with them is how very much interested they are as a professional organization for parents in bringing the physicians together and encouraging us to work harder and to make new developments to get to a cure for hyperinsulinism sooner.
Interesting. And Dr. DeLeon Crutchlow, I'm also interested in what you're most excited about right now. But in particular, I want to point out that you are lead researcher in the Rare as One collaborative network. This is part of the Chan Zuckerberg initiative. What are your hopes for that project?
Well, as you may know, we are at this moment just creating the foundation for that network. And that includes physicians, that includes researchers, that includes, patients, advocates, and that includes industry as well. Creating this network is going to be very powerful in allowing us to, one, understand the disease better, to learn from these patients. One, what are the needs? What are the different manifestations of the disease process? So we can then, facilitate the development of new therapies and of a cure.
So fair to say it gives you hope that new treatments could come to market soon?
Absolutely. I don't know, there are things on development, and I think we're going to have new treatments soon, but the promise even of a cure in the future.
Well, I think that rare diseases are getting more attention and more investment in time and energy. Now we have a lot of biotech companies who are really interested in helping children with rare diseases and investing the time and energy to help 250 people a year.
Help us remember, Dr. Thornton, the stakes in diagnosis and making sure that diagnosis comes early. Why does that matter so much?
Because we know that this disease, by nature of the severity of the hypoglycemia and its effect on the brain, has a high rate of brain damage. And we know that typically when patients get diagnosed with hyperinsulinism and get to centers of excellence, that they do very well from that point forward. So the real risk time is in that period from birth to diagnosis. And that's why there's been so much focus by the Pediatric Endocrine Society developing guidelines, and the focus is on the first 24, 48 hours of life.
Dr. DeLeon Crutchlow, what makes you push on when I have to imagine there are days when it's not easy?
Really, it's the patients that inspire me every day, and they're happy kids. And you see that big smile of a kid picking up a backpack, carrying their dextrose so they can keep their glucose stable. And it's just hard not to be moved by that resilience.
This is why we have photographs all over our office of us with babies going home from the hospital, knowing that, we might not have been able to cure them because they didn't have focal disease, but we have done everything we possibly can to make their life easier, knowing that we have the support of a community like CHI to help us do our jobs, and that's a really great feeling.
Well, Diva, Paul, thank you very much. It's been enlightening.
You're very welcome. It's a pleasure.
It has been such a pleasure working with Diva and Paula as we've started to build the Collaborative Research Network, which reminds me, we should give everyone a save the date for December 5th and 6th, where we're going to have our next research conference and launch our Collaborative Research Network.
Definitely. And it was fabulous to hear from the doctors. And now we're going to hear from the HI families.
Welcome to my journey. My family.
We spent over a month in the NICU. Every blood sugar draw was like taking my breath away. It was like you were living in these 3-hour increments, and no one really could tell us like the rhyme or reason of why this was happening.
We didn't know anything about hyperinsulinism.
We found ourselves doing blood sugar checks and G-tube feeds every 2 to 3 hours around the clock.
Having to actually prick her heel 4 times a day to start.
It was 7 when we started.
One of the hardest things is just there's so much still unknown about this condition. It's still so rare.
Just not knowing if our baby was going to die in the beginning. We had no idea.
I found myself grieving for the baby I thought I was going to have.
Do you feel it pulling? Is that what's wrong?
How do you feel about getting your sugar checked? Is it a good thing?
Yep.
Yeah? Do you like doing it?
Yep.
At 14 days old, she's diagnosed. She got started on diazoxide. It works for her, which is great.
Today, she is only on one medication, and that is the diazoxide. And she has been doing wonderful with that.
What does congenital hyperinsulinism international mean to us?
Well, it's well, to me, it's like a way that I can connect with other people with my health condition.
Congenital Hyperinsulinism International has created a community where I feel we belong.
It feels like a place where we're the same as everybody else, where we can see people where we don't even have a language in common, but where we can look at each other and go, we're the same.
Yay! There's something really special there in that these are like all our kids.
We're out of here.
Chuck, thank you for making me better.
Whenever we went on holiday, going through customs and having to argue that apple juice counted as a medicine.
Oh my god. We still have to do that.
We do still have to do that.
Yeah.
A few weeks ago, I told Sandra my birthday gift would be to ask my closest friends to donate to Chai. I'd have to ask people directly rather than doing a social media fundraising because, considering the global crisis we are facing, it wouldn't work. Sandra told me maybe Chai could wait. The truth is, life is kind of on hold due to the pandemic, but the other illnesses and diseases, they won't pause, they won't go into layoff, they won't be confined or keep social distancing. They don't obey the rules of the state of emergency. And that's why I decided not to change what I had planned for my birthday. Hyperinsulinism is rare and dangerous. Few understand it or care about it. Worst, few people research it. After all, it's not our problem until it becomes our problem. I also wear a researcher suit every day and can assure you, disease research is not state-funded, not in the most countries in the world. If you ever wonder why some diseases are not cured, the answer is sometimes simple. The research was not founded. I hope this letter somehow reaches your hearts and that you decide to honor this plea. Thank you all.
Live. In just a second, we will be live. Hi, everyone.
Hey. Hi again. So here we are with one of our stars, one of our sugar stars, Leighton Sheldon. And of course, you all know Ty now. Leighton, tell us a little bit about the auction. You're our auction man.
Well, thanks for having me back, and really appreciate everyone who's here this evening, who's joining us virtually, who's just supported us, whether it be over the years with dollars, with love. Julie, Jen, and the gang put together an amazing event tonight, so I just wanted to make sure that we said thank you, because this was no easy task. And so heading right into the auction, please make sure you check out our silent auction tonight. There's some amazing stuff. There's a Thurman Munson Yankees game used bat. There is a autographed bat with multiple Hall of Famers, including Brooks Robinson and Willie Stargell and the recently departed Bob Gibson. So that and more you can check out on congenitalhi.org and bid until 8:30 tonight. There's also some amazing artwork, which, Julie, I'd like you to tell the audience about, please.
Sure. So we have an artist, Wendy Letben, who's been so close to Chi really since our inception. Fun fact, she created our logo way back when, and she has made 3 paintings using a technique that uses sugar. She has shows all over the world, but she made these just for us, and they're beautiful. And I hope that we can get some great bidding war going on them. I just love them so much, and they're so beautiful. And so go for it. Go for those paintings. Then Jen's dad, Paul Jervis, is a painter, and he's just a very painterly painter. I love his paintings. Think Mad Men. He was a major force in the ad world in New York for many, many years. So it's great to have one of his paintings. And then we have a really special painting by Kalila Birdsong, beautiful artist. And her painting is just a really great abstract painting. And actually, Barack Obama has one of her paintings in his collection.
So possibly a good investment.
Definitely, definitely. They're all good investments, and they're all really beautiful. So it's unusual, I know, to have art in an auction like this, but this year we really felt that this is a year when, we don't have a lot of hotels. We have one hotel. We don't have a lot of live experiences. So we have home experiences, and paintings are at home.
Well, speaking of live experiences, I thought what you folks put together for the live auction with Tony D and his lovely wife, a virtual experience, but then I thought something even more priceless potentially is the virtual lunch experience with CHOP and some members of their staff. So I want to make sure, for full transparency, I bid on both as an individual. I encourage you to outbid me, or at least make me decide if I should bid more. And we're going to bid on some other stuff. We bid on a Mark's cake. There's some fantastic jewelry, some other amazing items as well. Once again, what's nice is you can join us until the end of the event, but then you're going to have a little bit of time afterwards to still place your bids in the auction. So if you get outbid on something, please make sure you support us and try to bid on something else that you thought might make a cool addition to your life or your home, whatever the case may be. But then lastly, before the rest of the cast, if you will, takes over, I want to make sure that we talk about the fund in need. It is really, really important to the community in terms of whether it be it's research that needs to be to get done, whether it be it's medicine that's going to go to a different part of the world that Julia somehow uncovered needs our help. And so really, I'm super proud to be Crosby Sheldon's dad and Julie's husband, but I'm even more proud to be part of this community and just to see what each and every individual does beyond just the members of CHOP and SHE. So please make sure you take out your wallets, your pocketbooks, And even if the fund and need is not really for you, and they're going to go into a little bit more detail, you could walk away with something tangible through the auction. Through the course of the night, please make sure you check it out and bid away. Good luck, everybody.
Great. So I am going to share a little bit more about what is going on in terms of these categories that Leighton is talking about and the fund and need. So I am just going to share my screen here. So bear with me as I pull that up and show you some of the wonderful work that she has been working on. So she has big plans, and you've heard a lot already tonight about the need and what we're working on, and there's so much that needs to be done, and we will continue to invest in programs that will lead to treatments and cures and support patients and families worldwide. We hope to raise $60,000 tonight through the fund and need categories, as we have in past years. We've been able to hit that amount because some of you were able to donate $5,000, $2,500, or $1,000 per category, and we even received some $10,000 donations in the past. We are grateful for all donations, big and small, in any of these categories. It truly takes a village. So here are some of the categories that we wanted to highlight tonight. Research. Research is desperately needed for more treatments and cures. CHI funds competitive grants that are open to researchers globally. This next year's grant will be even more significant with the launch of the Collaborative Research Network, because the whole community, researchers and patients, will help determine the focus of the grant. By next year, we will have our 10-year research agenda. We hope you can support CHI research grants with a suggested gift of $7,500. Genetics. CHI partners with Exeter's laboratories to provide genetic testing for individuals who cannot otherwise afford the cost of testing. Our agreement to provide genetic testing free of cost puts patients on a treatment path. Support this genetic testing program with a gift of $5,000. The Global Registry. The CHI Global Registry drives research for treatments and cures, supports the success of clinical trials, and can aid in the creation of treatment standards, and can provide a natural history or the story of how the condition affects the whole population. Your donations will help us enroll hundreds more patients in the registry and grow the first global patient-reported study for HI. Your donations for research and the HI Global Registry are our highest hopes for a cure. Please support Hager with a suggested donation of $2,500. Physician education. She is on a mission to educate doctors all over the world on the importance of timely diagnosis to prevent brain damage and save lives. Your donations help us strengthen these relationships and to invest in a digital platform to help specialists communicate with each other. Support global physician education programs with a gift of $1,000. Benevolent Support Funds. HI families most often travel to a center that specializes in HI treatments. She has set up funds to help with travel and expenses. Help CHI increase the size and number of these funds so more families can get good care for the best outcomes. Support travel funds with a gift of $500. Medication access is an issue that is very close to my heart. Oops, sorry, I forgot to change my slide. We want patients to be able to access life-saving drugs regardless of where they live. CHI works to get medicine to patients, but there's a need to scale the program to have an even broader reach. We are hoping to raise $25,000 tonight. And finally, our conferences are an opportunity for families to connect with each other and with leading HI specialists. Our online conference in October brought together people from 32 countries. We learned that virtual events are just as expensive and in many ways more complicated to produce, but the results are really great. And I hope that you're experiencing that tonight with this virtual event. There's so much more that we do, and with your dollars, CHI can invite HI families to attend our conferences and meetings free of charge. This is just a sample of the work we are doing, and we try to raise awareness and support families year-round because, as you all know, HI never sleeps. Thank you from the bottom of my heart and the rest of our team's heart for all of your support, and we look forward to continuing this critical work on behalf of the entire community and working together with you.
Thank you so much, Ty and Layton. That was really great. And I just want to share that in other years when we've all been together, we have raised between the auction and the fund in need. One year we actually raised $100,000. So our hope is that if you've been before and you've donated a certain amount for our fund in need, that you would, even though we're live, that you would be able to do that if you can. That would mean so much to us. And those of you who may not be able to give such a large gift, you can choose any of the categories and make a gift. So their fund in need is on this site. If you have any trouble finding it, you can just go to the donate button and donate. And there are a number of wonderful items that don't have any bids yet in the auction, or they didn't like 10 or 15 minutes ago. My dear, dear friend, Sally Blumiston, who is so talented, is giving a wonderful book group meeting. She's a wonderful poet with 8 of her books, and she's an award-winning poet. And Nancy Herkness, who's an award-winning romance novelist, is also giving one. So those are for the bookie people, and the literary people, fun on either end of the spectrum there. So I would just encourage you to make a bid on those. And anyway, we're going to have to move on, but you can, for the next 10 or 15 minutes, you can go and actually until 8:30, the bidding is going to be open.
8:30 it will close.
Yeah, 8:30. Thanks. Okay, so you just heard Jennifer Schmidt speak, and we owe Jennifer Schmidt really for this beautiful evening. Thank you, Jennifer. Jennifer and Taraya Kamau, who didn't come on camera, they're the two. 15 minutes. They're the two leading suspects who are really, really the reason they're implicated in this evening and how wonderful it's been. So let's give them a big virtual round of applause. Okay, you see another lovely person on your screen, and that's Jana Pell. And Jana, most of you know Jana, and you've already seen her in one video tonight, the songwriter and creative communications consultant. And she is going to sing her original song, One Day at a Time. And after she sings, you can go and look at the auction. You can look at the fund in need. And then there's another very exciting part of the evening, which is the time where you get to just relax on camera with your friends, or maybe meet new friends, and just kind of share and be together at your tables. So, and be able to really relax and chat and either get to know each other, or if you know each other really well, just be together. So thank you so much for joining us at the sweetest event, and for opening up your hearts and being so giving. And together we will stop the lows. Jana, hit it.
All right, so welcome to the stage that is my home. Fun fact, this is actually the first piece of communication I ever had with Julie, because I met her at Rare Disease Day and played this song, and I'm bringing it back because it just seems appropriate for these days. It's called One Day at a Time. If my love could save you, you'd be cured. Still the luckiest girl in the world. If my tears could heal you, you'd be fine. Still we take it one day at a time. One day at a time, one day at a time. One day at a time, one day at a time, one day at a... You make me face my greatest fear. You want me close but not too near. Oh, will come true. Patience, patience is a virtue. Patience. If my love could save you, you'd be cured. Still the luckiest girl in the world. If my tears could heal you, you'd be fine. Still we take it one day at a time. One day at a time, one day at a time. 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 I know I cannot understand, but won't you let me hold your hand? I know you're doing all you can. I send you all the strength I can. Patience, patience is a virtue. Patience, all your dreams will come true. Patience, patience is a virtue. Patience. If my love could save you, you'd be cured. Still the luckiest girl in the world. If my tears could heal you, you'd be fine. Still we take it one day at a time. One day at a time, one day at a time. 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 Oh, one day at a time. One day at a
Thank you all so much. Enjoy the rest of your evening and your sugar soiree. Enjoy your tables.
That was so beautiful and moving and perfect for our time, Jana. And you're right, I did hear it 5 years ago, 2015, when I met you on Rare Disease Day.
Before you heard me speak, you heard me sing, actually.
Right. Yes. So everyone, you can go to the auction and then go to your tables, and hopefully you can all find your tables, and there's a help desk if you can. It's just been a wonderful, wonderful evening, and it's still going. Love you guys.
Thank you all so much.
Bye.